So every year, our neighborhood goes all out for Christmas. We're talking twinkling lights, inflatable Santas, reindeer on the rooftops, and an annual Christmas block party where we all come together to celebrate. It's been a tradition for years. Kids love it, neighbors bond over hot cocoa, and honestly, it's one of the best parts of the season. But then there's Karen. Now, every HOA has that one person who just has to make everything miserable. And in our case, that person is Karen. She's been on the HOA board for years and acts like she owns the neighborhood. She complains about everything: lawns that aren't mowed perfectly, kids playing in the street, people parking in their own driveways. And of course, she hates Christmas decorations. This year, she wasn't just grumbling, she was on a mission to shut it all down. First, she sent out an email blast saying that outdoor Christmas decorations had to be tasteful and minimal. No blinking lights, no inflatables, and definitely no excessive music. Then she started patrolling the neighborhood, taking notes on whose houses had violations. She even left warning letters on people's doors. It was ridiculous. This wasn't a gated community or anything, and most of us owned our homes outright. But Karen acted like she was the Christmas police. And when she found out we were planning the big neighborhood Christmas party, oh, she lost it. So after Karen's Grinch-like email about tasteful decorations, we all just kind of laughed it off. I mean, it's Christmas. Who was going to listen to her? Everyone kept putting up their lights, their inflatable Santas, and some neighbors even went bigger than usual just to annoy her. But then Karen took it up a notch. One morning, I woke up to find a bright red violation notice stuck to my front door. It was from the HOA, signed by none other than Karen herself. The note read, "Your holiday display violates HOA regulations due to excessive lighting and sound. Remove immediately or face a fine." I rolled my eyes because this was total nonsense. My lights weren't even that crazy, just a few strings along the roof and a light-up reindeer in the yard. Meanwhile, my neighbor Dave had a full-on Christmas light show, synchronized to music, and he didn't get a warning. Turns out Karen was targeting specific people, mostly the ones who didn't suck up to her. And as if that wasn't bad enough, she started going door to door, warning people that the Christmas party was against HOA policy because it was a public disturbance. Mind you, we've had this party for years. It's just neighbors hanging out in someone's yard, sipping hot cocoa, playing Christmas music, and watching the kids run around. Nothing crazy. But Karen wasn't having it. She made it clear, if we went through with the party, there would be consequences. And that's when we knew. This wasn't just Karen being her usual grumpy self. This was war. If there's one thing we've learned about Karen over the years, it's that she doesn't like doing the dirty work alone. Nope, she had to bring in reinforcements. A few days after her ridiculous violation notice, she sent out an official-looking HOA email to the entire neighborhood. The subject? Urgent. Unauthorized Christmas gathering. Immediate compliance required. She made it sound like we were throwing some out-of-control street party with fireworks and a live rock band. In the email, she claimed the Christmas party was a violation of noise ordinances, even though it was just Christmas music and laughter. A safety hazard due to increased traffic. Mind you, it's just neighbors walking over. A breach of HOA regulations, which she conveniently didn't specify. She even CC'd the HOA board members, trying to make it seem like they were all backing her up. But here's the thing, most of them didn't even care. In fact, one of them, Mr. Thompson, actually forwarded me the email with a message that said, "This is getting ridiculous. Let me know if you need anything." Clearly, Karen was acting alone, but that didn't stop her from escalating things. The next thing we knew, she called the City Code Enforcement Office and tried to report us for unauthorized public gatherings. We actually got a visit from an officer who looked completely confused when we explained that it was just a Christmas party in a private yard. The officer literally laughed and said, "You gotta be kidding me. This is what she called us for." That's when we knew Karen was getting desperate. But instead of backing down, she doubled down. She wasn't going to stop until she got what she wanted. But neither were we. Karen thought she could push us around, but she underestimated one thing. Our community wasn't going to let her ruin Christmas. After her ridiculous email and failed attempt to involve city enforcement, something unexpected happened. The neighborhood rallied together like never before. First, Mr. Thompson, the HOA board member who was sick of Karen's antics, sent a reply all to her dramatic email, shutting her down. The HOA has no official policy against private holiday gatherings. There is no violation here. Let's not waste everyone's time. That one email alone sent a shockwave through the neighborhood. People started replying in droves, calling Karen out for trying to dictate how they celebrated Christmas. Mrs. Patel wrote, "We've been doing this party for years. If anything, it's a community tradition." The Johnsons chimed in, "Karen, do you even like Christmas? Or joy in general?" Someone even sent a meme of the Grinch, labeling it Karen, rolling on the floor laughing. It was clear nobody was on Karen's side, but we weren't stopping there. We decided to double down on our Christmas spirit. People volunteered to bring extra decorations. Someone suggested a live Santa visit for the kids, and Mr. Thompson, our unexpected hero, even offered to get a permit, just to shut Karen up. And then came the final blow. We turned it into a charity event. We put out an announcement. This year's Christmas party will support our local food bank. Bring canned goods or toys for families in need. With that one move, we knew Karen couldn't touch us now. And when she saw the announcement, oh, you could just feel her rage boiling over. What she did next, you won't believe it. At this point, Karen was fuming. She had failed to get the HOA to shut us down, her email had backfired spectacularly, and now the whole neighborhood was more excited than ever. But did she give up? Of course not. Karen doesn't lose quietly. The morning after we announced the charity aspect of our party, she stormed over to my house, clipboard in hand, face red with frustration. "Do you even understand how disruptive this is?" she snapped. "You're turning our quiet neighborhood into a zoo." I took a deep breath, staying calm. "Karen, it's one night. It's a Christmas party, and now it's for charity. What exactly is the problem?" She scowled. "It's about the rules. I don't care if it's Christmas or Easter or whatever. You can't just invite a bunch of people and take over the whole street." I raised an eyebrow. "Karen, do you realize the HOA doesn't even have a rule against this?" She hesitated. She knew I was right. But then, in a desperate move, she threatened to call the police. Yep, over a Christmas party. "If you don't cancel, I'm calling the cops for noise violations," she said smugly. At this point, I actually laughed. "Go ahead, Karen. Call them. Let's see how well that works out for you." And oh boy, she actually did. Want to continue to point number 6. The cops show up, and it backfires spectacularly. Smirking face. So about an hour later, we heard the sirens. Karen stood at the edge of her yard, arms crossed, smirking like she had just won the Super Bowl. The police car pulled up, and 2 officers stepped out. You could tell immediately they weren't thrilled to be here. I walked up to them, completely calm. "Evening, officers. What seems to be the problem?" One of the cops sighed, looking at his notepad. "We got a noise complaint." He glanced around at the totally quiet street. It wasn't even the night of the party yet. That's when Karen stormed over. "There you are. This man is violating HOA rules and disturbing the peace with his outrageous party," she declared, acting like she was leading a SWAT team. The officer turned to me. "Sir, is there a party happening right now?" I grinned. "Not yet. It's this weekend. We have full HOA approval, and we're also collecting donations for charity." The cop raised an eyebrow and turned back to Karen. "Ma'am, did you seriously call us over a party that hasn't even happened yet?" Karen's face twitched. "It's going to be out of control. People will be blocking driveways, making noise, causing chaos." The officer sighed. "We can't do anything about a hypothetical disturbance, ma'am." She looked furious. "So you're just going to let him ruin the neighborhood?" The other cop chuckled. "Ma'am, it sounds like he's throwing a Christmas party for charity. You might want to let this one go." Karen turned beet red. She had lost. But instead of giving up, she stormed back inside her house. And that's when I knew she wasn't done yet. I should have known Karen wouldn't go down without one last ridiculous attempt to shut us down. The next morning, I walked outside to grab the mail when I noticed something taped to my front door. A letter. From the HOA. I groaned. Here we go. Opening it, I read, "Dear homeowner. It has come to our attention that you are planning an unauthorized social gathering that may violate HOA policies regarding noise, parking, and community disturbances. Please be advised that failure to comply with HOA regulations may result in fines or other consequences. We strongly encourage you to reconsider your event. Sincerely, HOA board. I burst out laughing. Unauthorized? We had already gotten approval. This was pure Karen. But here's where it got even funnier. The signature at the bottom wasn't from the HOA president or any board member. It was just some scribbled initials. Karen had faked an official HOA warning letter. I took a deep breath, trying to decide how to handle this. Do I confront her? Report her? Or do I play her own game against her? That's when an idea hit me. If Karen wanted to play dirty, I'd make sure this backfired in the best way possible. I took a deep breath, holding back laughter. If Karen wanted to play dirty, I was about to give her a holiday surprise she'd never forget. First, I made a few calls. One to the actual HOA board president, just to confirm that no such letter had been sent. No surprise, they had no idea what I was talking about. Then I called my lawyer friend. He took one look at the fake letter and smirked. This? Oh, this is a clear case of fraud and harassment. Oh boy. Before I could decide how to handle it, karma came knocking, literally. That evening, a group of neighbors showed up at my door. Apparently, I wasn't the only one Karen had targeted. She tried to shut down other holiday decorations, block Christmas carolers from singing, and even complained about kids building snowmen. That's when we all agreed on a plan. Instead of backing down, we were going to make this the biggest, brightest, loudest Christmas party our neighborhood had ever seen. Everyone pitched in extra lights, bigger decorations, more music. One neighbor even managed to rent a snow machine. Another, he called his cousin, who just happened to be a local news reporter. If Karen wanted attention, she was about to get it. The night of the party arrived, and let me tell you, it was a Christmas spectacle straight out of a holiday movie. The entire neighborhood came together to make this the biggest and brightest celebration ever. Lights twinkled on every house, the smell of hot cocoa filled the air, and kids were running around in Santa hats, laughing and playing. We even had a live Santa Claus handing out candy canes. And right on cue, Karen stormed out of her house. She marched straight into the middle of the party, face redder than Rudolph's nose, waving her fake letter like it was the Constitution. "This is an illegal gathering," she shrieked. "You're all violating noise ordinances. The HOA will be fining everyone." That's when the real HOA president, who had been quietly sipping eggnog by the fire pit, stepped forward. "Karen, we've already checked. That letter, it's fake." Dead. Silence. Karen's mouth opened and closed like a fish. She was caught. And then, to make matters worse for her, the local news crew showed up. A reporter, mic in hand, walked right up to Karen and asked, "Ma'am, would you like to comment on why you've been harassing your neighbors and trying to shut down a community holiday celebration?" Karen froze. Then, without another word, she turned on her heel and stormed back into her house, slamming the door so hard a wreath fell off. The entire crowd cheered. Christmas was saved. From that night on, Karen never tried to cancel another holiday again. And as for me, well, I made sure to add twice as many lights the next year, just in case she needed a reminder. Christmas tree sparkles.